Hola alumno, este video que estás a punto de ver es tu última lección de este año. La próxima semana tenemos el examen final, el 5 de agosto y el 6 de agosto. Me gustaría informarte de información importante de este examen. Si tu apellido inicia con A hasta L, o sea Álvarez hasta López, te toca el miércoles 5 de agosto. Tenemos 2 turnos, matutino a las 11 de la mañana y vespertino a las 5 de la tarde. Si tu apellido inicia con M hasta Z, o sea Martínez hasta Zapata, te toca el jueves 6 de agosto. Manejamos los mismos turnos, 11 a.m. y 5 p.m. Vamos a pasar los resultados de los exámenes el viernes por medio de WhatsApp. Muchos de ustedes han aprovechado de las asesorías que tenemos en Zoom. Ya tenemos 3 sesiones a la semana en tu nivel. Bien hecho si tú has tomado parte. Esfuérzate hasta el final y nos vemos la próxima semana.
Good morning, Orange Book students! I hope that you have had a wonderful week studying and preparing for your final exam or your final English test. I join you today from the beautiful state of Iowa. My parents own a farm, una granja, here in Iowa, and so myself and my 2 sisters and all of our kids and my parents are here having a great time. But don't forget, we have something very important to do, and that's study for your final English exam. So, first things first. All right, so in the wonderful state of Iowa, hopefully you all found it on a map. If you didn't, that's okay. The capital of Iowa is Des Moines. It is not Des Moines or any combination of phonetic impossibilities. But Des Moines, Iowa is our capital. And I loved your answers that you sent me for things that Iowa is famous for. However, none of you were able to guess correctly because what you're going to find on the internet for all of the wonderful things in Iowa are probably all going to be places that you can visit, which are really, really great. However, the things that Iowa is famous for are things like pigs, los cerdos, and corn, maíz, y elote. Y también pues también ganado, las vacas y pues también los frijoles, pero de soya. We even have activities with pigs and doing things on a farm. And here are the beautiful fields of Iowa. So maybe someday you can visit the beautiful, beautiful fields of Iowa. I hope you can someday. And maybe you can try to catch a pig. Who knows? So what we're going to do today, I want to warn you right here. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer because it's review. You guys have a big exam coming up and it's super important. It's really exciting because you get to show everybody how much you have learned and how hard you've worked. So it's worth studying for and it's worth being excited about. So it's also worth taking a few extra minutes in this video to make sure that you know how to do these things correctly. Go to Altozano, hike, or go for a hike. There are 2 expressions, and I'll show you the options in the next slide with the answers. You can try both of them if you want a good challenge. And hunt for scorpions. It's a good thing to do in Mexico sometimes. All right. All right. Would you like to go to Altozano? I don't think so. To be honest, I really don't feel like going to Altozano today. I went yesterday. Here, I just gave an excuse for why I would like someone to come with me. I'm needing a second opinion on what I should buy. If I hadn't gone yesterday, I'd be very happy to go with you today. All right, so you can look at the rest of these if you have any questions. Okay, lesson 2. Do you realize what you just did? Remember with this one, this is like acabarte. You just, and then the past. She just, and then the past. Let's see if you can do this. We're talking about spilling our coffee, putting ketchup on pizza, and someone accidentally punched someone in the face or punched me in the face. Take the time to pause the video and see if you can get the correct answers. The correct answers are on the next slide. Okay, you just spilled my coffee. You just put ketchup on my pizza. Who does that? You just punched me in the face. I must have been distracted, and here you can choose, why did you do these things? You must have thought, oh, I'm sorry. I must have thought you were Mexican. Sorry, I didn't write that correctly. I must have thought you were Mexican. If I hadn't thought you were Mexican, I never would have put ketchup on your pizza. I must have been in a hurry. If I hadn't been in such a hurry, I never would have punched you in the face. Okay? Lesson 3. Oh, you seem sad. Is anything wrong? We drove all the way to Tsinsunsan, but it was closed, so we couldn't visit the ruins. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How long has it been closed? For a couple weeks, or lots of times we would say for a couple weeks now. I know how sad you must be. I remember one time we were going somewhere special, but it was closed. Is there anything I can do to help? Not really, but thanks for asking. That's really important that we say that. Thanks for asking. Even if someone can't help you, socially speaking, telling them that it's important to you that they ask is really a good social comment to make. All right, so remember the big thing here is for or since. For is a duration of time. Since is a specific time in the past. So let's see if you can do this, the next examples, according to this example here. Right? Here she has locked her keys in her car. Not bad. My dog is sick. This is our perrita Mac, but she's not sick. And my dad's car won't start. Or my dad's car isn't working. You can also say that, like funcionar. Okay? So here you're going to have a situation in the past, and then you can create your own duration of time or point of time in the past. Here are your answers. All right. How long have your keys been locked in the car? How long has your dog been sick? How long has it been since it wouldn't start? That one's kind of a tricky one, but you can probably have a couple different options here. If yours isn't exactly the same, it doesn't mean that it isn't correct. So if you have questions about how you chose to word these, send me a WhatsApp message and I'll let you know if it's correct or not. Okay, and finally, lesson number 4. Hello, Carly, this is Juan. Hey, Juan, how are you? I'm okay. Hey, listen, Carly, I'm having some trouble understanding the English homework. Could you possibly come over and give me a hand? Remember that could you possibly, would it be possible for you to come over? Could you possibly come over? Could your sister possibly come over? Okay, that goes to the infinitive. We don't say could she possibly comes. We don't change, we don't conjugate that verb. We just always use the infinitive. Could he swim? Could he possibly swim faster? Could she possibly walk faster? It's always the infinitive. I'm really sorry, Juan. I'm afraid I can't come over right now. I'm afraid. I don't actually have fear. It's just something to express it kindly, softly. I'm afraid I can't. If I weren't in Iowa, I'm sorry, I'm not in Aurelia right now. If I weren't in Iowa with my family, I'd be glad to help you. Don't worry about it. If I had known you were out of town, I wouldn't have called you in the first place. All right. Luckily, technology and Zoom meetings allow us to do that. All right. So here are a couple examples. Pause the video and see if you can do these. And you have to create your own reason. What's your excuse? Why can't you help these people? I'm having trouble. Everybody can have problems logging on to the Zoom meeting sometimes, right? Choosing a mask, not my favorite activity. And I can't find Hugo. ¿Dónde está? No sé. ¿Me puedes ayudar? Here are your answers. I'm having some trouble logging on to the Zoom meeting. I'm having trouble finding or choosing a mask. I'm having trouble finding Hugo. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, so your homework assignment is to study for the English exam. I want to encourage you as you begin to study and continue to study, hopefully you have already started, to come up with a plan. So the final test isn't just over this semester. It's not just over chapters 8, 9, and 10 that you've done with me, but also what you have done with Jaden. It's for the whole year. And so what I recommend is that systematically you choose a chapter, you review the vocabulary, you review the grammar, go through each lesson, rewatch the videos that Jaden also gave you and that I gave you, and take notes. If you can have study groups, if you can have extra people helping you, make it happen. It's worth it. So don't expect in the end to just remember things that you haven't studied for a long time. Practice, practice, practice. Review, review, review. Si se puede, si se puede. Okay, so again, any questions, please contact me. Thank you so much for letting me teach you over the last 8 weeks. I hope that you've learned a few things, and I hope to meet you and see you again in the future in Morelia, the beautiful state of Iowa, or in North Carolina. Happy studying! We need to confess that we know that we're sinners. We need to confess that we know that we need a Savior and that Jesus is the Savior of our lives. And if we do this and we believe that God is who He says He is, and that Jesus is who He says He is, and that God, according to the Bible, raised Jesus from the dead, conquering death, that Jesus was God and was man, who came to suffer with us and for us, then we will be saved. And what does saved mean? Saved doesn't just mean that we don't go to hell. It means that we get to be with God forever, that we don't have to be separated from Him the rest of our lives.